If you're among the vast number of business owners who rely on Linux, you're likely aware of its cost-effectiveness, versatility, and exceptional flexibility owing to its open-source nature. Linux fosters community cooperation and resource sharing, particularly benefiting small business owners, making it a prevalent and preferred choice for ambitious entrepreneurs. However, the open-source nature of Linux also exposes it to security risks and vulnerabilities. It is crucial to safeguard your Linux server to protect your business and your customers' data as you expand your brand. Let's delve into various approaches for securing a Linux server. Keep your Linux server updated. Before anything else, ensure that your Linux server is up to date and incorporates the latest advancements. Regularly updating your Linux server is vital for maintaining robust digital defenses and ensuring strong server security. This principle applies not only to your Linux server but also to other cybersecurity components such as firewalls and antivirus software. Your Linux server might receive automatic updates. However, if you're unsure about the automatic updates or prefer to update manually, you have two options. Utilize the Update Manager in Linux, which searches for updates and notifies you automatically when updates are available. Each Linux distribution or distro offers a graphical user interface, GUI, that simplifies the process of updating your Linux server. Use the Linux terminal, the primary interface through which you can enter commands and manually update your system. Prefer the second approach. You can achieve this by accessing the local repositories of the Linux server and applying the latest patches. For Debian and Ubuntu, use the following command in the terminal: $sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade y. For RHEL, CentOS, or Fedora, execute the following command: $sudo dnf upgrade. Once your Linux server is updated, it will effectively support the modern cybersecurity techniques and tools you wish to employ. Moreover, it will be inherently more resistant to known security threats, such as malware intrusions or backdoors. Note that older Windows or Mac computers may not support new Linux distributions or functionality updates. Therefore, it is advisable to install a new Linux system on a relatively new or modern PC. Create a privileged user account for modifications. Most business owners and administrators refrain from using the root access terminal when logging into their Linux servers. The root login terminal, while powerful, carries risks if you're not well versed in its usage. A single erroneous command or typo can potentially destroy or severely compromise your server and its data. Consequently, any root user should possess adequate knowledge and understanding of tasks like opening ports. To mitigate this risk, it is wiser to create a user account with sudo privileges. Such privileged accounts allow users, including yourself, to execute root commands without directly accessing the root terminal. This reduces the aforementioned risks. Fortunately, creating a new privileged user account for enhanced Linux server security is a relatively straightforward process. First, create a new user by entering the following command: $reducer username. Next, grant sudo rights to that user by executing the following code: $usermodded g sudo username. Following these steps, you will have successfully created a new user profile on your Linux server with system administrator privileges and permissions. You can proceed to utilize this profile for all your digital upgrades and any other commands or controls you wish to implement. Consider it as granting yourself access to the digital realm. Implement password or SSH key security. Implementing password and SSH key security measures is crucial for safeguarding your Linux server. This step becomes significant after setting up a new account with administrative access and privileges, as it prevents unauthorized access to your profile and unauthorized modifications to your server. Using a strong password is an effective security measure for Linux servers and other digital platforms like firewalls and databases. Fortunately, Linux offers a convenient way to set up or modify a system password using the terminal. Simply choose a strong password and enter it. A piece of advice: create a strong Linux password that is difficult to guess. A good practice is to include at least one uppercase and one lowercase letter, one number, and one symbol, with a minimum length of 12 characters. Such a password will present a significant challenge even for brute force attacks, and it will be difficult for anyone to guess, even if they possess some knowledge about you. If you struggle to remember passwords, consider using a password manager or securely writing down the password in a location accessible only to you. such as inside a safe. Securing an SSH key. In addition to setting up a password, configuring an SSH key adds an extra layer of security to your Linux server. An SSH server key allows you to securely access your server without entering a password. It is a suitable option if you have difficulty remembering passwords or do not utilize a password manager. Creating an SSH key from scratch is unnecessary. You can generate a new SSH key using the Linux terminal and then upload the key to your server using the following command. $SSH copy ID username and IP address. To ensure the security of your SSH key, take the following steps. Disable SSH password authentication. Restrict remote root access to prevent anyone from logging into your Linux server and accessing the administrator profile remotely. Restrict access to both IP4 and IPv6. Though this may appear complex, it is manageable. Simply open the /etc/ssh/sshd-config file using any text editor, such as Microsoft Notepad, and locate the following lines. Password authentication yes. Permit root login yes. Change the yes values to no for both lines. Modify them as follows. Password authentication no. Permit root login no. Next, restrict the SSH service to either IP4 or IP6 by modifying the address family line. This can also be done using a text editor of your choice. For most business owners, restricting it to IP4 will suffice. Ensure the line reads as follows. Address family init. Restart your SSH service to enable the changes. Failure to do so will require you to revisit the modifications. Follow these steps depending on the type of Linux server you are using. For Ubuntu, execute the following command, $sudo service sshd restart. For Fedora, CentOS, or any system using systemd, execute the following command, $sudo systemtool restart sshd. Once this process is complete, your SSH key will be uploaded to your Linux server, and you can log in without typing a password. However, it is advisable to employ both security measures for comprehensive defense. Though technical in nature, implementing these measures significantly strengthens the overall digital defenses of your Linux server.